Prince Dr. Babayemi has described his expulsion from the PDP by the party as a ruse, describing those behind the move as jesters who are ignorant of the rules of the party. It will be recalled that the PDP in Northern Balogun Ward 2, Ayedade local government area of the state, had on Friday announced the expulsion of Prince Babayemi over allegations of anti-party activities brought against Babayemi. Well, this is Sunday Extra, reaching you live from the broadcasting village of OSBC here in Iliawujoke, Bale Oshogbo. I am Olushayo Babatunde, your anchor. Chiefly before everything else, let's have the main gist of the entire package. Firm offers free lie detector test to political office contestants. Workers trapped as another building collapses in Lagos. 9 dead, 10 injured in Abuja auto crash. And Sunday Extra chronicles the pros and cons of purported ban on Okada business. Ahead of the 2023 general election, Nigeria's premier polygraph company, Hogan Polygraph and Investigations Limited, has announced plans to offer free lie detector tests to all prospective individuals seeking public office, including presidential and gubernatorial candidates. Speaking at a press briefing, the group CEO of the organization, Paul Ibirogba, emphasized that the company will provide the service as a means to ensure that the Nigerian populace elects the most honest and ethical leaders in 2023. Ibirogba, who noted that Nigerians are increasingly demanding greater accountability, transparency, and integrity from politicians, noted that a polygraph will help the electorate discern the leaders who have the nation's best interest at heart. He revealed that political candidates who agree to a free lie detector test will be required to sign a waiver allowing the test results to be released to the public. Hogan Polygraph made the headlines last year after performing a lie detector test on Nigerian reality TV show star Michael Ilisami of 90 Day Fiancé while on air during a tell-all show for the cast of the United States hit TV show, which is viewed by millions of Americans as well as a global audience. During any last-minute changes, the Ogun State House of Assembly Speaker Honorable Lakunle Oluomo is to be arraigned in Lagos tomorrow by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) over alleged financial crimes. It will be recalled that Honorable Oluomo was arrested by the EFCC operatives at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport Thursday morning after and later flown to Abuja. He was said to have been on the wanted list of the commission following his failure to honor the EFCC's invitation several times. Oluomo and others yet to be named were accused of forging signatures and financial documents belonging to Ogun State House of Assembly. The Speaker of Osun State House of Assembly, Honorable Timothy Uweye, says life is defined to serve God and mankind. Hence, the well-to-do in the society at every stage of life should ensure self-evaluation and examination. Honorable Uweye stated this today while addressing the congregation at Rema Baptist Church, Oshogbo, during the Thanksgiving service in commemorating the 60th birthday anniversary of the lawmaker representing the Ojigbo State constituency in the Osun State House of Assembly, Honorable Israel Ojekunle. In his very brief but well-loaded birthday message, Honorable Uweye called on the congregation and the public office holders not to allow any position to derail them from the principle of the efficient human relations. He acknowledged the sound relationship between him and the sexagenarian Honorable Israel Ojekunle, noting that the scriptural promise of God for man is to live long enough in the land of the living, just as he wishes the lawmaker long life and prosperity. Speaker of the State Parliament used the occasion to appreciate the ministers of God in Rema Baptist Church, Oshogbo, for identifying with his colleague in the celebration of his 60th birthday anniversary. Earlier in his address, Honorable Israel Ojekunle recounted how God has consistently favored him in all spheres of life, a feat he attributed to his success in the last 6 decades. The Jigawa State government has denied disbursement of 193 billion naira in 7 months to the state's lactating women, saying the report was a misrepresentation. The Executive Secretary of the State Rehabilitation Board, Dr. Ibrahim Rabakaya, reports the report that the state has shared over 192 billion naira to pregnant women and lactating mothers in the state. Describing it as distorted and misinformed, Dr. Rabakaya said he was misquoted by the reporter during his presentation made at a learning workshop with the Kaduna State team held in Kano. He clarified that a cash transfer to pregnant women was initiated under the State Social Security Program aimed at tackling child malnutrition and higher rate of maternal and child mortality in the state, adding that 20 pregnant women were selected from each of the 287 political wards in the state, making a total of 5,740 beneficiaries who are receiving 4,000 naira monthly. According to him, Jigawa State copied the cash transfer to pregnant women from the pilot project executed in 3 local government areas of the state by Action Against Hunger (ACF) and scaled it to all 27 local government areas of the state. The social security programs of the state and federal governments will be the focus tomorrow on Osheluwa, the OSBC Weekly Current Affairs Personality Yoruba program. The guest on the program is the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Social Intervention Program, who doubles as the Osun State Focal Person on National Social Investment Program (SIP), Malam Muluk Mambelo. As usual, Shiluwa will quickly hook up with some residents of southeastern part of the country for an update on the weekly sit-at-home order by IPOB and other activities of the Secessionist Group and its militia group, ESN. Keep a date with young man Latif Agbola and his guest Malam Lukman Bello as Osheluwa takes the airwaves at the 1:15 in the afternoon on OSBC Radio 104.5 FM. The people of Ilarogun have called on the State Police Commissioner and the divisional police officers in Ilarogun to beef up security in the ancient town over the spate of stealing of goods and sheep in the town. In separate chats with OSBC Community News correspondent Rosimi Adeluba, the trio of Messieurs Adeleke Adetoji Aderemi Omidiji and Honorable Adetoye Adeyemi said no fewer than 25 goats and sheep were carted away from them, while Mr. Adeleke claimed that the armed robbers shot dead 2 sheep while goats were carted away from him. Mr. Omidiji in his own report said the night marauders culprits carted away some of his sheep. Also narrating his experience, Honorable Adeto explained that the robbers came with vehicle to perpetrate their evil act and escape through Ilakwara Road. They therefore urged the State Police Command to pay for security in the Asian town and ensured that the 9 marauders were brought to book. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSE, says its personnel has not started carrying out any form of firearms, whether on patrol or on other official duties. The acting Corps Marshal, FRSC, Mr. Dauda Biu, made this clarification in a statement by the Corps Public Education Officer, Mr. Bizi Kazim, today in Abuja. Mr. Biu noted that the information became necessary following the image of an official of the Corps who was captured on camera carrying firearms in a position that suggested he was on official duty. The FRSC boss further called on the public to desist from believing such fake images as the Corps continued in committing itself to making the roads safer for all. At least 6 persons, including artisans, have been confirmed trapped after a 7-story building collapsed in Lagos. The incident occurred in the morning today at Obaidowo Nero Street near Sandfield bus stop in Lekki. The collapsed building was said to be under construction when it collapsed. However, it was not immediately clear the cause of the collapse, but emergency workers and security operatives have already moved to the site to possibly rescue the trapped victims. Meanwhile, the Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, Dr. Femi Oke Osanyitolu, and Lagos Territorial Coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Ibrahim Farinloye, have both confirmed the incident. 9 persons have been confirmed dead and 10 others injured in the fatal auto crash on the Goji Abaji Road in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Abuja. The Federal Road Safety Corps spokesperson, Mr. Bisi Kazim, who confirmed these in a statement today, noted that the crash involved a Toyota Hiace bus with vehicle registration number KTG 450 KQ in Howell Sino truck on the Yangoji Abaji Road earlier today. He explained further that the crashed bus was coming from Osun State and heading to Katsina State, but unfortunately crashed into a stationary truck, and then that the crash involved 2 commercial vehicles. A 19-year-old man, Adamu Musa of Ungwa Magina in Buji Town, Buji local government area, Jigawa State, has lost his life in a pond while trying to rescue his cow that slipped and fell into the pond while grazing around the area. The Jigawa State Command's Public Relations Officer, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, CSA, Adamu Shehu, made it known in a statement today. He said the unfortunate incident occurred when the young man took 2 of his cows to the farm and let them loose to feed them the grasses nearby, adding that sadly one of the cows slipped and fell into a pond located close to the farm where they were grazing. The PRO pointed out that on citing what happened, Musa rushed to rescue his cow but was drowned. And despite the combined efforts of the locals and NSCDC personnel to rescue him, he was not found until 1 a.m. today. And now to Sunday Extra Proper. One of the ways by which youth earn their legal daily needs is through commercial motorcycle transport business, popularly called Okada. But unfortunately, some undesirable elements are now using it to perpetrate crimes, most especially now that the country is facing multifarious security challenges. This has prompted a call in some quarters for the ban on motorcyclists from operating. Sahid Adeboje in this Sunday Extra report sought people's opinion on this critical issue that affects people's means of livelihood on one hand and security of lives and property on the other. Now sit back and enjoy the menu as being served by Sahid Adeboje.
One of the myriad of challenges plaguing the country is unemployment, no doubt, as it has become a subject matter for discussion either through the print or broadcast media. The truth is that in order to survive, many people have resorted into riding motorcycles, most of which were obtained through instrumental means, although some learned trade. But the poor economic status of the country has led them into riding this motorcycle called Okada. It is, however, a known fact that several degrees of atrocities, including kidnapping and robbery, have been perpetuated through motorcycles. Perhaps this led to the call from some quarters that Okada be banned in the country, since the dreaded Boko Haram sect and the bandits tormenting the peace of the nation did not cease from riding motorcycles to perpetuate their evils. The call for a total ban on Okada is now generating reactions. Speaking with this reporter are 2 commercial motorcyclists, Messrs. Sunday Okonko and Emmanuel Akade. They expressed dissatisfaction in the proposed act, maintaining that their livelihood depends solely on their motorcycles. According to them, if the government totally banned the operation of commercial motorcycles, many people will be rendered jobless, and this will lead to an increase in crime rates.
It's not supposed to be so. They're supposed to go where they fight and kill somebody. Cancel that Okada that place, not for this place. If you look at the sea population now, what are they going to do if they cancel Okada in the whole Nigeria? Are they going to provide the job? Where is the job? No job. The people call themselves out of rape or senators. And they're not making their own millions of naira there. I think what I say, anywhere where the organization, not they go to uniform and register to the government. You need to cancel Okada. No.
Although there had been agitation for proper identification of every motorcyclist that will ply Nigerian roads, how does this go with the leadership of the Okada riders? Mr. Ajishefini Ismaila explained that it was unfortunate that reflective jackets were produced for commercial motorcyclists, but many of them have refused to obtain theirs.
We have tried our best with in contribution with the Osun State government and Ministry of Works and Transport. We have had identified uniform for each members of the union. There are 6 unions in Osun State. Each union has its own identification uniform. My own is orange in color. So it was unfortunate for us that our people, many refused to collect the uniform. Others that are collected, they are not wearing it. They just put it under the seat.
Mr. Gbenga Ajenifuja is also a union leader of the Commercial Motorcyclists Association. He appealed to government not to ban the operation of Okada, just as he called on commercial motorcyclists to submit themselves to registration that will lead to proper identification as stipulated by the government.
Our advice to member is that all this one that is already here, that gets ready, they should come and obtain it. All this one that is ready now, we advise them to come and obtain their uniform. So we now make a process for those who are not out by the government.
For Sunday Extra, this is Saeed Adewoje reporting.
Well, thank you very much for that report, Saeed. And here again are the main gist of Sunday Extra. Ahead of the 2023 general elections, Nigeria's premier polygraph company, Hogan Polygraph and Investigations Limited, has announced plans to offer free lie detector tests to all prospective individuals seeking public office, including presidential and gubernatorial candidates. Reported that at least 6 persons, including artisans, have been confirmed trapped after a 7-story building collapsed today in Lagos. And 9 persons have been confirmed dead and 10 others injured in a fatal auto crash on Jangoji Abachi Road in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Abuja. And this week's Sunday Extra report sought people's opinion on the call for a ban on Okada business, the critical issue that affects people's means of livelihood on one hand and security of lives and property on the end. And with that, we have come to the end of this week's edition of Sunday Extra, which happened to be the first edition in the month of September. And special thanks to the Sunday Extra crew, including the Secretarial Assistant Odunayo Alabi and the audio officer Jumoke Oladipupo, not forgetting Temitope Olayiwola and Nathaniel Oyegoke, who gave the necessary assistance from the sidelines. On behalf of the executive producer, Abimbola Babatunde, and my producer for today, Latif Agbola, I remain yours sincerely, Olushayo Babatunde, saying good evening and happy new month.